wedding procession attacked, pelted with stones by a mob of 100 in Madhya Pradesh. The reason: the alleged upper-class village could not tolerate the flamboyance of Dalits' wedding procession. The groom preempted that strike and was forced to remove his turban to wear a helmet instead to ward off the attack. In the attack, 6 of his party members were injured, while the police have arrested 27 of those villagers instigating that attack. Let's go across to our colleague Supriya. They're joining us from the national capital with further updates. Very evidently, this is a symbol of casteism in our country, which is deep-rooted in the society, in Madhya Pradesh especially, Supriya. How does the BJP have to comment on this issue this morning?
Well, the government is silent on the entire episode. However, the million-dollar question is that in a country which is talking about Dalit upliftment, is talking about equal rights, such instances come out, and it's not just one-off cases. We have seen in the past also similar cases coming out. But really what is shocking here is that these people from the upper caste even went ahead, apart from pelting stones, and told these people from the lower caste that Dalits have no right to carry out a marriage procession. They have no right to use music during their marriages, and also they have no right to ride a horse. Now this is really bizarre and shocking, and it's an unusual sight where a groom was forced to take off his turban and was forced to wear a helmet.
Absolutely. Supriya, just hold your thoughts. We have Kancha earlier joining us over the telephone line, Dalit rights activist. Your first thoughts on the story we are tracking of how a Dalit procession that was attacked in Madhya Pradesh by the upper caste. What should be done?
No, well, see, the whole question is, on the one side, BJP, RSS are trying to own up Ambedkar, and they want to celebrate Ambedkar's birth anniversary for one full year. But in their own ruling state, the structures don't allow Dalits to have a marriage procession, and they cannot climb a horse, they cannot have a turban procession, they need to wear helmet. I mean, imagine this kind of situation in a state where a backward class chief minister is ruling. So, is it because BJP wants to pretend that it wants to respect?
No, but Mr. Kanchalia, is it really about just the BJP or just the Congress? Do you see this only happening in a BJP-ruled state, or do you see such sort of atrocities to the lower caste, as you can see on our screens today, only spread across the country? Why just blame it on one political party? Don't you think it's entrenched in society and that needs to change?
Tamil Nadu also, where
exactly
the anti-caste movement took place. What we are saying is that the villages are now well collected with the police. And the police stations, earlier when Digvijay Singh was chief minister, I myself in a committee recommended for Dalit militia with 4 or 5 people with guns protecting their rights. And if this police cannot protect, let there be a self-armed protection team for every small area in the Dalit localities. See, the point is, the police, I have been addressing police officers up to DGP level. They are saying that, you know, these are customs, these are conventions. The Dalits are not in a position to sell a grocery shop if they start in the village any item.
So there is a lot of fear that still continues amongst the Dalits in the country, and this is yet another example of that. Stay with us on the phone line, please, Mr. Kanchalia. We also have Mr. Chandraban Prasad joining us over the phone line. Mr. Prasad, your first thoughts on the shocker that's really coming in of how a Dalit procession that was attacked by the upper caste in the state of Madhya Pradesh. To protect himself, the groom had to wear a helmet, even though 6 of the other members in their procession were attacked and are injured.
To a great number of caste Hindus, caste is still bigger than constitution. Sometimes, to many of them, caste is bigger than the nation itself. And hence, this response to a Dalit riding a horse. And it's also about tradition. I have known cases when a Dalit riding a ₹1 million car is allowed to pass through. But once mounted on a horse, the groom is chased away. So that shows the kind of society we live in. Yeah.
No, the question is what really needs to be done. We also were speaking with Mr. Kancha earlier, who still is on the telephone line. Mr. Prasad, you see, this is not just the case of one state in the country. This is prevalent across several states, be it the states of Bihar, this of course coming in from Madhya Pradesh, be it the state of Tamil Nadu, be it the state of UP. There are several states where casteism is still very deeply rooted, is very strong in our day-to-day society.
No, but I am very excited with this development. You know why? Before, Dalit groom was allowed to walk in the village without protest. Rather, the Dalit groom was welcomed by upper caste people also. Nobody needed to chase them away. Now, the fact that they are being chased away, the fact that they are riding horse, shows that India is also changing.
No, but what about their protection? Do you in any way are saying that this is a change in how Dalits were being perceived initially, and the fact that this groom was allowed to sit on a horse is of course welcome, but the fact that such kind of attacks continue to happen is the question. What is to be done to protect their rights and have equality amongst all in the country that is guaranteed by the Constitution?
They need to be protected by police, they need to be protected by judiciary, but I have my own take. I do not think this is a law and order problem. I think this is a social problem. And social problems are at best tackled by new economic systems. In this case, capitalism and market, for instance. Such incidents will continue for a decade or two more. But once capitalism and market take their grasp, these things will wither away because these are social problems.
Okay, well, stay with us on the phone line, Mr. Prasad. If Mr. Kancha is still with us. Mr. Kancha, you were listening into Mr. Chandrabhan Prasad, of course, saying these are social problems that are quite prevalent, deep-rooted in our society. The question now is, how do we address all of these?
No, the point is, this social problem which Chandrabhan is talking is related to religious problem. Now, this is essentially a Hindu structure problem. If it is a Muslim village or if it is a Christian village, this is not going to happen. Now, the Congress, which has ruled this country for 65 years, has taken a stand. The BJP has taken a stand. And BJP has RSS as its finger village campaign.
Are you blaming it on the politicians, Mr. Kancha? Do you think there is a lack of political will to treat all with equality? Is that what you're trying to allege?
Yeah, so the point is, if the temple changes, the village changes. If they see that a Dalit is a priest in the temple, automatically the villagers come around and say, after all, God has allowed the Dalit to become a priest. Why not? He should have a marriage along on the same line as we have had. So why not? RSS talk about the temple equality, where if they believe, see, I'm not saying you give up your religion.
Okay, well, Mr. Kanjaya, let's get some political voices also in this. While Mr. Chandrabhan Prasad is also with us on the phone line, Mr. Manoj Jha of the RJD. Good morning, Mr. Jha. Your first thoughts on the story we are tracking that only displays how casteism is still deeply rooted in our country, be it the case of politics or be it the case of day-to-day living. This time around, a groom there attacked, a Dalit groom there attacked by the upper caste in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Jha.
Yeah, I tell you, I will not make it a question of a law and order failure only and how sensitive is the law and order machinery. It's a civilizational question. And you only listed. I can tell you in everyday life, no matter where we live in metro, when we speak about caste, we have actually pretension when we speak about caste. It's a caste-ridden society. Caste is in our DNA. Somewhere we have not imbibed the value of egalitarianism. It is shameful that 1950 we had adopted our constitution, beginning with the words "we the people of India." We have not emerged as "we the people." I mean, this incident shows that we are falling every day on the civilizational ladder.
But Mr. Jha, while Kancha Elia as well as Chandrabhan Prasad are with us on the telephone line, they are blaming politicians across party lines for not having treated everybody equal, because they say it's of their vested interest that caste divides still play a very major role when it comes to politics. So why have equality amongst all?
I 100% agree with Kancha Elia and Chandrabhanji. Politics has never taken these issues of egalitarianism, helping people to imbibe that. They have simply looked at electoral politics, and that is the bane of it. I 100% agree with them.
No, but then your party should be equally blamed, Mr. Jha. How different is the RJD or perhaps the JDU or perhaps the
I
SP?
I tell you, on issues of civilizational issues,
Yes,
we cannot deny that we should be blamed. We should also be blamed. We are part of the same crowd. I mean, it's a larger issue.
Okay, Mr. Jha and Mr. Kanchali as well as Chandraban Prasad, thanks very much indeed for speaking with us this morning on this story. Our colleague Uday Pratap Singh also has some inputs on the same. Uday, interesting to note how we saw Mr. Manoj of the RJD in a way agreeing that yes, it is after political play when it comes to caste politics in the country.
Well, absolutely. This is an absolute shocker coming out of Madhya Pradesh, Akshay, where it shows that even an important occasion for one's life, like a wedding, cannot be celebrated safely for a Dalit. Upper caste people in that village obviously outraged at the kind of lavishness that they feel a person beneath them was enjoying, which they obviously did not take lightly at all, throwing stones on that party, the groom having to spoil his entire procession by wearing a helmet on that occasion. Now, sources are telling us that 9 people almost in that wedding party have actually been injured. 27 other villagers who, indulged in this stone pelting have also been now picked up by the police. Absolute shocker coming out of Madhya Pradesh there.